Good evening, welcome in RNQ Easy in classes. Unit number 2, Being and Causality. 2.1 Actions always implies a change and change implies causality. The agent is the cause and the actions of the agent producing the change is this causality. The change produced in the patient as reaction is the effect. Cause is that what produces an effect in the traditional view. Cause is an ontological principle which exercises a positive influence in the productions of something else. There are three factors that enter into the concept production: that which produces of the cause, that which produced it, or the effect, and the positive influence of the cause in the productions of the effect of the causality. Everything पढ़ रही हूँ ना. पढ़ लेगी तो भी. Everything depends upon this positive influence in the productions. In order that a thing may be called a cause, for this influence to be really causal, it must affect the being of thing in its production. Positive and ontological production means the bringing of a substantial or accidental thought. For in fact it is the intellect which actually produces our thought, and as such is it cause. The influence of the cause may be either corporeal, example seed producing a plant, or spiritual, spiritual example, the intellect producing thought, but in order the such an influence partakes of the nature of a causality, it must be ontologically and positively productive of being in some manner. Cause and principle, as we have already seen, a principle is that from which something proceeds in any way whatsoever. It implies two factors. Every principle is prior to that which proceeds from it, and that this priority is grounded in the things themselves because of some specific spatial connections existing between them. Principle is also distinct from cause. Every cause is a principle, but not every principle is a cause. A cause is always a principle because it is a thing from which another effect proceeds. A cause that is that which exert a positive influence in the productions of a thing, whereas there are principles which do not produce anything. The concept of principles is thus wider than the of course, for something to be a real cause, three conditions must be fulfilled. First of all, the cause must be a real and positive entity. A negation of privations is never given the name of actuality. Nothing can exert a positive influence in the productions of anything. Thus the cause must really contribute some influence in the productions of the effect. For cause is conceived as a principle of production. The effect as a result is of a productions are originated in the cause. If the cause exerted no positive influence, this production could never originate, and hence the effect would never come into being. Therefore, a mere precedence in time or place is not sufficient to be a cause. Finally, the effect must be really distinct from the producing cause. The cause produces the effect. The effect thus it must produce something distinct from itself. If the effect were not distinct from the producing cause of the cause would of necessity produce itself, although such a production is quite absurd and impossible. Hence, the effect and the producing principle must be distinct. 2.2 Main kinds of cause. 2.2 In interesting causes. 2.2 Main kinds of cause. Two main theories have attempted to give an adequate explanations of the facts of change in the universe mechanism and naturalism. The theory of materialistic mechanism maintains that the ultimate constituent particles of matter are homogeneous in character, accumulated by purely mechanical forces which produce only local motions. According to these explanations, the only causes existing in nature are efficient cause. The theory of naturalism, as advocated by Aristotle and the scholastic maintains that the beings possesses a nature or virtue of which they are specifically distinct substance with specific properties and activities. Each material nature is a compound consisting of a material and a formal element, as it constitute cause by means of their powers and actions. They change other beings either in an accidental or substantial manner, thereby acting as efficient causes. Such changes do not occur in an entirely haphazard manner. On the contrary, the so clearly that all things in the universe follow certain techniques and ends. According to the theory of naturalism, thus four types of causes account for the how and why of all beings: material, formal, efficient, and final. Aristotle, the first to attempt a thorough analysis of causes, given the following explanations of the number and the character of the four causes just mentioned. We aim at the understanding, and since we never reckon that we understand a thing till we can give an account of its how and why, it is clear that we must look into the how and why of things coming into existence of passing out of it or more generally into the essential constituents of physical change in order to trace back any object of a study to the principles to ascertain well then the existence of material for the generating process to start from, whether specifically or generically considered, is one of the essential factors we are looking for, such is the bronze for the statue or the silver for the field material causes, then naturally to the thing in questions can be there unless the material has actually received the form or characteristics of the type conformity to which brings it within the definitions of the thing we say it is, whether specifically or generically. Thus the interval between two notes is not an octave unless the notes are in the ratio 2 to 1, nor do they stand at a musical interval at all unless they conform to one or other of the recognized rations formula causes. Then again, 3, the most something initiate the process of the change or its cessation when the process is completed, such as the act of a voluntary agent of the smith, for instance making a bronze statue as mentioned in BK second ch second, or the father who begs a child, or more generally the prime conscious or unconscious agent that produces the effect and the starts the material on its way to the product, changing it from what it was to what it is it to be efficient causes. And lastly, for there is end of purpose for the sake of which the process is initiated, as when a human human takes exercise for the sake of his health. Why does he take exercise, we ask, and the answer, because he thinks it good for his health, satisfies us final causes. Then there are all the intermediary agents which are set in motions by the prime agent and make for the goal as means to the goal. Such are the reductions of superfluous flesh and purgations of dogs and surgical instruments as means to health for both actions, and tools may be means or media through which the efficient cause reaches the end at the seizure of classifications of the causal determinants of things. If we want to determine where there are just for causes no more and no less, the necessity lies in the following regions. The cause is that on which the productions of a being depends. This caused being can be considered in a twofold way. If we consider it absolutely the cause of the being, making it to be actually what it is its from formal cause. If we consider it is a potential being becoming an actual being to factors and necessary to reduce it forms potency to act, there must be the material factor or matter which is reduced from potency to act, material cause.
ये ऑन है क्या?
And there must be the agent which reduces it from potency to act, efficient cause, since an agent can act only according to the tendency of its own determined nature, which implies a definite directions or end. This end also determines the productions of the cost being final cost. To put it in a different way, there are 4 questions which can be asked of a thing in order to explain the how and why of its being. If we ask by what it is made, the answer is by the efficient cause. If we ask out of what is made, the answer is out of the material, its material cause. If we ask through what is it made, the answer is through its formal cause. And if we ask on account of what it made, the questions we obtain the various determining factors which explain the productions of the thing and make it to be what it is, since their answers explain the whole thing in its being and productions being. have all the causes which account for its how and why, and these causes are just 4 in a number. We will study these 4 causes, further grouping them to into increasing cause and extracting cause. An interesting cause is that which is inadequately distinct from the effect. The interesting cause are material cause and the formal cause. Matter and form are constitutive principles of things entering into the very compositions of their being. This is especially the case with material beings, where prime matter, substantial matter, and substantial form are the essential constitutive principle which combine to constitute the material compound. And extracting cause is that which is adequately distinct from the effect. The two extracting cause are efficient cause and final cause. They do not enter into the compositions of the being of things but act upon them. Without these two types of causes, efficient and final causes are found in material as well as in spiritual beings. Their nature is more of a metaphysical character. 2.3 Interesting causes: material cause and formal cause. Material cause: when things change, there is always a substratum in underlying principles which persists throughout the process of change. This substratum is something indifferent, potential, a respective passive determinable act, and actualizable. It is that which is changed, determined, actualized. The substratum is that out of which something becomes or is made. This is called the matter or material cause. In an accidental changes, this matter or material cause is the complete substance which occurs some accidental act or form. For example, a block of marble has the potentiality of receiving the shape of a statue, a column, or round, a fountain, or bench, a table, etc. It is the matter or material out of which any of these things can be fashioned. In a substantial change, there is the change of one substance into another, as when non-living substance is changed into living substance. This substratum is the prime matter. It is present in all organic and on non-organic elements. It is present when the elements are changed into the living substance of the plant. It is also present when the plant substance is digested by the animal and becomes animal substance. Hence, prime matter is the principles of the capacity or potentiality of being changed from the one kind of substance into another. Hence, prime matter is a true cause. Material cause out of which something is made. It is the inner principle of potentiality and in limitations from cause. Formal cause is the correlative of the material cause. Matter and form always go together since they are related to each other as act and potency. Matter is indefinite, various the form is definite. Matter is passive, various form is active. Matter is respective, various form is the received. Matter is potentiality, various form is act. Matter is determinable, various form determines. Matter is actualizable, various form actualize. Matter is that out of which something is made, various form is that through which a thing is made to be what it is. Since changes are accidental, substantial, the form acquired in the change will also be accidental or substantial. An accidental form is some quality determining the complete substance, such as quality and quantity, or a modifications of quality quantity. When a drop of water freezes the crystalline structure is an accidental form. When the mind think these thoughts are accidental form as perfecting the perfectible mind. In all these cases, the substance as such remains interact throughout the change, but throughout the change, but in substantial changes the nature of substance is transformed into a new nature of substance through the occurring of a new substantial form. The substantial form united with prime matter constitutes a specific nature. It is that essential and constitutive principle which dog and so forth prime matter is common to all these beings. If matter were the only essential principle present in them, there would be no specific difference between them. What makes them specifically efficient among themselves is the specifically different substantial form present in them, determining the indifferent prime matter to be just this kind of being and no other. When the substantial form changes, the species changes. The substantial form is intrinsically unit to prime matter and task away all its indifference and indeterminateness from the latter. The substantial form is truly a cause as it exists intrinsically in the productions of a being by means of a positive influence for together with prime matter. Prime matter it is a constitutive principle of the composite substance, determining it essentially in the line of substantiality and specific perfection. They actualize the potentiality of prime matter and makes it to be a definite substance of a definite species. All material beings are thus essentially composed of prime matter and substantial form called holomorphic theory. 2.4 Extracting cause, efficient cause, final cause, and exemplary cause. Efficient cause is that by which something is produced, a being of one kind of change into being of another kind of means of the actions of the agent. Of efficient cause of all the cause which assist in the productions of an effect by means of a positive influence. The efficient cause is recognized as a true cause, which has an unmistakable influence on an effect. When a mason builds a brick wall, one's action can certainly influences it, making other mason is the efficient cause of the wall. When the expensive power of electricity drives a train along the rails, its actions produces motions, and it is the efficient cause of the motions. When hydrogen and oxygen are brought together under proper conditions, their actions upon each other results in the formations of water. They are the efficient cause of the new compound, and so is it with the other agents in nature. Whenever a real productions takes place, the agent responsible for it is an efficient cause. Efficient cause may be viewed from a variety of standpoints, which gives rise to a number of classifications. First cause and second cause. First cause is the one whole causality of absolutely independent of any other cause or being, and on which all other causality depends. This is God, who is absolutely independent of all other causes. God is the uncaused cause of all other causes. Second cause is the one whose causality is dependent on some other cause or being. All creatures a second cause as they depend on the first cause. Physical and moral cause. A physical cause is one which produces an effect by its own direct actions. For example, the carpenter who makes a table, the boxer who defeats his opponent by knocking him unconscious, the boy who throws a snowball through a window, the violinist who draws his bow across the settings, the philosopher who thinks a moral cause is one which induces a free agent to act. This may be done by a appeal, by a threat, by a promise, etc. For instance, a politician is a moral cause when one induces an official to give him her positions by paying a sum of money. A criminal who extracts money from a victim by means of blackmail is a moral cause. Principles and instrumental cause. A principal cause is an efficient cause which produces an effect in virtue of its own power An instrumental cause is an efficient cause which produces an effect in virtue of the power of another cause. Principal and instrumental causes are correlatives. The one implies the other. Carpenter uses a saw to cut a piece of wood. The saw is the instrumental cause. The carpenter is the principal cause. A hunter kills a deer by shooting it with a rifle. The rifle is the instrument cause performing its actions under the directions and the control of the hunter. It should be noted that both causes exert their own distinct causality. The saw cuts and the rifle shoots, but they could not act at all, and not in this particular manner varies not for the directions and control of the principles cause per se and cause for accidents. A cause is said to be a cause for AC if it has the natural tendency to produce a particular effect, or if it is a free agent that intends freely to produce it. It is a cause free accident if it produces an effect toward which it has no natural tendency and without a free intention. When I take a hammer and deliberately drive a nail into a board, I am the cause per se that the nail enters the wood. But if I thereby hit my finger, I am the cause for accidents for that, because I do not proximate. Proximate cause is one which produces its effect directly in virtue of its own actions without using the actions of some intermediate cause. When I walk, it push a cart, swing a stick, catch a ball, etc. I am the proximate cause of these effects because they are the results of my own direct action. A remote cause is one which produces an effect through the direct action of some intermediary cause of causes. When my finger pulls the trigger of a rifle and explodes the change of the cartridge, a bullet is ejected, which travels through the air and kills a deer at a considerable distance. The bullet is the proximate cause of the death of the deer, while the exploding charge, the actions of my hand and arm, and the deciding influence of my will are the remote causes of the killing. Naturally, the ultimate cause in this particular chain of causes is myself. Total and partial cause. Partial cause. The cause is said to be a total when the entire effect is produced by its actions. If only a part of that entire effect is attributed to a particular cause, it is a partial cause. The mason, carpenters, plumbers, plasterers, etc., who assist in the constructions of a building are all part causes of the construction. But when I lift a plank, push a table, walk a mill, dig a hole through a ball, etc., and the total cause of these effects, coordinated and subordinated causes. Coordinated cause is the same as partial cause and thus accounts for only part of the effect. Various subordinate cause is a cause which depends upon another cause if such a cause depends upon another cause for the exercise of its casually. It is called essentially subordinate cause, such as a cause produces the whole effect if for the dependence upon the other cause. For instance, the facial of a sculptor is a cause which experience influence upon the whole statue but is dependent upon the sculptor in the very exercise of its causality. Of if cause depends upon another cause but not in the exercise of its causality, it is said to be accidentally subordinated to his cause. For example, a son depends upon his father for his existence as upon a superior cause, but in the act of generating a son, the latter does not depend upon his father. Hence, the son is only accidentally subordinated to his father in so far as the act of generating a son is concerned. A univocal and equivocal cause. Cause a univocal cause is one which which produces an effect similar to itself in nature. For instance, coconut produces coconut dog, a dog human, a human. Live beings, therefore, which reproduce their own kind are univocal cause in this respect, because these effects are similar to themselves in nature. And equivocal cause is one which produces an effect dissimilar to itself in nature. A painter is the equivocal cause of paintings, a writer of writings, a builder of buildings, because the effects are different in nature from oneself. As their cause necessary and free cause, or necessary cause is a cause which is determined by its nature to produce a certain effect when the required conditions are present. If I threw a stone into the air, gravity must pull it back to the earth, because gravity is a necessary cause and is determined to a definite time of actions. Without choice, of free cause is a cause which is not complete or determined to act, even through all the required conditions for actions are present. For example, a human is free in every many of one's actions, like walking, eating, smoking, playing, etc., and can perform them or omit them as one chooses. Final cause is that for the sake of which an efficient cause acts. It is the end of intentions which determines the actions of the efficient cause in the productions of something else. The intentions or end induces the agent to act, and determines the kind and the manner of action so that the end or purpose might be achieved. For example, when a carpenter intends to make a chair, he selects the wood, cuts it into proper lengths, and nails them together according to a plan determined by the particular kind of chair one desires. Exemplary cause is that in limitations of which something comes into being from the intentions of an agent that determines its end for itself. Example, drawing the picture of a flower, and on the board the flower is the exemplary cause, and the picture is that effect. In these definitions, the words are form of invitations on of which indicate that idea, which serves as a model. Since the idea is the same as the form which a thing imitates according to the intentions of an agent, excludes the possibility that the likeness comes about. The accidents that determines its end of for itself indicates that there can be questions of exemplary causality only if the agent determines the end of itself, and not if the end is determined by another. In other words, only in the case of rational agents who are directed in their actions by the ideas is there the questions of exemplary causality. The exemplary cause is a true cause for it to exercise a positive influence upon the being of the effect, inasmuch as it influences the intellectual agent to act in the definite way. It is not an efficient cause for it. It is not or of itself the first principles of movement in the order of existence, but merely the form in imitations of which something come to be. Hence it belongs to the order of intentions rather than to the order execution. It is also not formally the same as the final cause. For formally speaking, the final cause moves the agent to act insofar as it is purposed to be achieved, whereas the exemplary cause specifies the effect to be produced, since it is the form to be imitated in the effect. However, materially speaking, the final and the exemplary causes are the same, for it is the specific form which, insofar as in offended as good, mobs the agent as the final cause. Insofar as it specifies the actions of the agent, it directs the agent as its exemplary cause. Now we know the reason why exemplary cause is called a formal. Extrinsic cause, it is formal because it specifies the effect. It is extrinsic because it specifies the effect, not from within but from without. Effect is that which depends from another totally or partially. The effects depend upon their causes ontologically and are similar to them ontologically, means according to the order of being depend means to proceed from another in some way according to its being. Similarity means partial correspondence between distinct beings. There are two kinds, positive and negative. Positive similarity is current one correspondence according to a perfection. Example, two persons who have equal height. Right, negative similarity is correspondence according to a defect. Example, two persons who are blind.
इसलिए करती हूँ नहीं, आप बहुत ज्यादा ही सुंदर लगते हो नहीं, तो कॉन्फिडेंट लगती थी मैं सब मरे भागू मैं
2.5 Allied concepts, conditions, occasions, substitutions, reasons, and chance. Cause in ontological principles, which exercise a positive influence on the production of something else in this way. Cause is different from conditions which does not exercise a positive influence on the production of something or conditions. Help they then leave the stone together. Both of them exercise positive influence upon the effect which by the change in the positions of the stone. However, if one of them limits oneself to the removing of mud around the stone and leaves the rest to the another to the one would not exercise any positive influence upon the change of positions, but one's action should remove the obstacle which prevents one from lifting the stone. Here one's role is only positive and not positive, and occasions exercise positive influence insofar as it helps to induce a free agent to produce an effect. It is a circumstance or combinations of circumstances which provide a favorable opportunity for the free exercise of a cause. Example, a crowd is an occasion for a pickpocket to ply his trade. However, a free cause can exercise its casualty even when there is no favorable opportunity. Hence, occasion differs from conditions insofar as its influence is positive. Occasions also differs from cause insofar as its influence is not necessary for the productions of the effect. The sufficient reason is also distinct from the cause. Sufficient reason provides the adequate explanations for the being of a thing. It does not have to be really distinct from the thing whose being is explained by it. Various the cause of being is always really distinct from it. Otherwise, the thing would be the cause of itself. Hence, we can say that every being has a sufficient reason of being, but not every being is caused. If the essence of a thing is really identical with its being, this essence is a sufficient reason. For its being. For its being, but if an essence is really distinct from its being, it's the sufficient reason for its being must be found outside the essence. Hence, a cause is a sufficient reason for the being of something else. Chance is an effect produced by the concurrence of two or more causes which operate independently and thus produce an effect which is unforeseen by anyone who does not know that several causes are at work or how these causes operate. If the activity of all the causes involved is fortune, the effect can't be attributed to chance. For instance, of if one considers that of period buried bury the chest in a particular spot and someone else later starts digging exactly the same place. The treasure trove is not the effect to chance with respect to that person, but if one does not consider the effect produced by one of these causes, the period the finding of the treasure happens by chance. Therefore, chance exists only in the mind of one who does not know all the causes which exercise influence upon the effect. Done.